after all the mass shootings, who would be to blame, the gun or the person behind the gun?
Both.
How so?
And I think focusing on one is a detriment to the other. I think that, I'll explain it to you this way. So in these conversations I have, there are two things that I try to avoid saying, and that is either mental health or gun control. And here's why. I avoid saying gun control because you get lost in the minutia of the details. People are like, well, that's not an assault rifle, and this gun doesn't fit this specification, and what about this ammo? And you get lost in all the tiny little details of it, and you completely lose sight of what the actual argument's about. And on the flip side, you have mental health. And that's the exact problem, but in the whole opposite spectrum. So you mentioned mental health, and that's this big gray amorphous blob that no one can ever wrap their hands around, no one ever really understands what it means, no one can ever nail down any details of what it is, there's no specific solutions to it, so it's this big thing no one ever can really understand. So if you say either mental health or gun control, the argument gets shut off, and it turns into this gray noise, okay? So the concept that people have of, is it the gun or is it the person, it has to be both. We have to look at this like it's a nuanced subject with a lot of different small solutions that might add up to a big one, because the one thing there isn't is any fix-all solution. There is nothing that's going to fix the big problem. The solution that I'm asking you guys to do of give kindness to the people who don't deserve it and show love to the people who might be the outcast, that is not going to solve all the problems of school shootings. It might not solve many of them, but if it solves one, it's worth it. Then we have to start looking at our solutions that way. If we put an absolute on the standards for our solutions, we're never going to achieve that standard. And we need to start working small. The only constant in life is change. And here's something, this ties into something that I was discussing with Mr. Dennis before the show. In my recovery, I did kind of a personal cognitive behavioral therapy on myself, where I would get up every morning and I would tell myself a mantra, and I would look through, I would get up in the morning when I was in the middle of that depression, I'd look in the mirror and I'd tell myself, today you're gonna walk through a river of shit, and it's gonna suck, and it's gonna hurt. And at the end of the day, you're gonna be covered in shit, but you're still gonna be walking. And that was the mantra I used every day to keep myself going then. I have taken that same philosophy and adapted it now, because I am not walking through a river of shit anymore. Now, I live, like, my day life, I'm still struggling because I think that me coming out with my story is actually stopping from getting a regular job, because people Google me and like, we don't want to hire that guy. But I'm also spending my days talking to you. And so it's changed my life. But I've adapted that concept of keep on walking to now, the only thing constant in life is change. The only thing absolute certain is that tomorrow is going to be different than today. It might be worse, it might be better, but it's going to be different. And we need to just keep on walking, one step at a time. Left foot in front of right foot, then left foot again. Just keep on walking and you'll go. You walk one step today, okay. You walk one more step tomorrow, okay. Maybe the next day you try really hard, you walk 2 steps. Then you look back and you've walked 4 steps. We are moving even when it doesn't feel like it. So on the solutions of these problems of if it's gun control or if it's the mental health, we have to start walking. We have to go small and do something, and then maybe see where it might lead us. So I have to say that it's both.